Hey, Libras. Welcome. My name is Patty. I'm here to do your intuitive tarot for those of you that are brand new. I'm also mixing astrology and numerology with it. I'm an empath, so I'm very highly intuitive, sometimes too much sometimes. So this is definitely divine driven and guided, a little bit different kind of tarot because this is more towards your challenges, problems, solutions, things that you need in life, questions maybe you have for divine, kind of a thing. And it is his message that comes through. I'm just the conduit. So there'll be messages, I'll get downloads, I'll hear things, just all kinds of things, how he works. So hopefully this will resonate with you. It is a general reading. And if it doesn't resonate with you and you have somebody come to mind, so maybe you're supposed to share it with them. So, and I do have all kinds of videos for transforming your spirit, mind, and body together for a healthier, higher you. You can catch all that information down below, and they are all free videos. They all are for you to learn how to grow yourself to a higher self, not only spiritually, but here on earth for yourself nutritionally, fitness-wise. Sorry, I got my stupid Facebook going. I'm working at the same time, so I apologize. And also mindset. Your mindset is how you grow your mind into a more positive, successful mindset, whatever that is for you. So let's get started. This is for the 17th through the 23rd. And I don't have any announcements. The new moon is already passed. However, there is a new moon video. And with that, it will probably have these energies into actually the 17th. So that might be something that you do want to watch. I may mention that every now and then because the planets are really moving. Some of them are moving at a very slow pace because we've got a retrograde coming in. Kind of itchy. For those of you that have been watching me and have been asking me about my knee, good news, I don't have to go back into the hospital. I'm excited. Don't have to go back into the hospital. That was a huge nerve-wracking. I've been pushing. Let me tell you, physical therapy is not fun. I call it the torture chamber. But it made me so I didn't have to go back into the hospital. So I'm happy about that. So let's get going. No, too many cards. All right. So I'm going to, first card I'm going to pull is the divine. Second is the current energies. And then the third card is for your future energies, mostly planetary. Again, the astrology part. And this is going to be from May, well, the end of May until June or July. So hopefully you'll catch on to that and see what that has for you. It's been actually really good. Then at the very end, I'm going to do pull some health, wealth, and love. But I'll do it in wealth, health, and love at the very end. For those get tired of watching me do the same old. You know, I am doing readings a little bit differently this month. So there we go. So for those of you who are asking divine a bunch of questions or asking how you're going to get out of a solution or a problem that you're going through or a challenge, it is called the dry desert time, which is the number 4. Okay, the dry desert is a time where you have to sit and wait. You can't see what is happening. However, there is something happening because if you look at the cactus in the background, there is a green cactus. So we know that there is water somewhere for that cactus to grow. There is a bird. There is something happening, you know, around to allow that bird to have its nutrients, its protection, its whatever from the sandstorms and things like that. So you just sort of have to hold on and be still for a minute. So for whoever that is for, being still is probably the hardest thing you're ever going to do, and wait. In the current energies, and that is the number 4 about getting stable. This is going to help you to become more stable, more patient, more understanding, to be still, because it's going to push you to your limit. Because a lot of people don't want to wait. They just want to all of a sudden get control and do it themselves. So this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be waiting to see what the divine does, brings forward, says yes, no, maybe, or let's just keep moving, kind of a thing. So your current energies from the 17th to the 23rd is the deep freeze, and that is the number 8. Okay. So, and the number 8 is again about your progress and rewards. This is a thinking time. This is a time where you're supposed to think and evaluate. And it's a time where you just let things be and go with the flow. and then you watch and see. It doesn't mean that you just stop and sit on your can and just say, okay, I'm going to wait and see. No, that's not how it works. How it works is, okay, I'm going to wait and see what you have to offer for me, but I'm going to keep going through my day. I'm going to keep doing what I need to be doing, keep moving, kind of a thing. Okay, and your future energies, more planetary energies, again, we're at a number 4. Number 4, this is about your stability and your growth, okay? This is about where you are going to move forward in your progress. But the number 4 for the planetary and the future energies for May, June, and July is follow the leader. Okay, so who's your leader? Are you your own leader? Your mindset? Or are you letting divine be leader? Are you letting loose of the reins and letting the horse go and see where it goes? And trust that the horse knows where to go? Or are you going to just sit in the saddle and try to rank that neck around and move it around where you want it to go? And I'm going to make it go here. I'm going to make it go there. And then before you know it, that horse is tired and worn out and sits down and says, screw you and bye-bye. This is the important message here, to be still and see who you are going to follow. The universe and divine is thousands and thousands and probably billions of years old and knows much more than we do, knows how things work, knows how to handle things, and allows things to exist or not exist, happen or not happen, be with them or not be with them. It is all just, it is part of the progress and growth of your journey. All right, so let's see what we've got going here for this reading. Oh, too many cards. Way too many cards, guys. All right. So we have the 8 of Cups straight out of the chute. That's your first card. So somebody's just feeling like they're sort of lost. They're not accomplished. They feel like, what the heck is all this about? That's pretty much the feeling that I get from this. It's like, what am I doing all this for? Why am I doing this? How am I doing this? And what is the reason behind that I'm doing this? You ask really hard questions because a lot of the times we won't even see that until we're almost upon it. And that is just like connecting the dots. Like I was talking to somebody before, connecting the dots is your destiny. And if you can't pay attention to what those dots are, then you miss the whole movie pretty much. Okay. So we have the 8 of Cups, we have the Page of Pentacles, and then we have the Queen of Wands. Okay, so there is a message coming up here. The message is facing that Queen of Wands. So something is going to be communicated to you. So if you're waiting for an answer, if you've been listening and you've been patient, something is coming to you. But you've got to get out of your own head. Because, I don't know if you've been patient or not. However, it seems like somebody is just go. Remember, it's time to be still. It's time to sit back and try to analyze things and see and pay attention to the dots, to pay attention to the destiny, what's going on. Again, divine is saying, who are you following? Are you making all the calls? Are you making all the choices? Are you listening to that intuition? Are you listening to what's going on? Because somebody's just sort of like at a little bit of a mess of being lost. Or they're like, they did something that they really didn't want or shouldn't have done, and they know they shouldn't have done it. But don't worry about that, because you know what? That energy is temporary and that's gone. It's gone. You're putting more stress on it than you are anybody else. And women do this a lot. We'll start imagining and fantasizing over something that isn't really even real. For example, when we date, we sit there and we think, okay, he said he was going to call me. He hasn't called me yet. Well, maybe he's seen somebody else. Maybe he found somebody else. Maybe this, maybe that. We go into our heads And then we start imagining things that are really not even there. So then we end up, then when they call, you're really happy. It's like, oh yeah, I was working. I had to work 2 12-hour shifts back to back, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, am I so stupid? Because you know what? I went to the negative. I went to that spiral down thought process. That's our heads. That's what we need to stay away from pretty much. Okay. The Queen of Wands, I think there's a new energy coming towards you. However, be real careful of this Queen of Wands. I like her. She's really, she's got the gift of articulation, the gift of talking, the gift of sharing. However, she's got a little bit of a dark side where she likes to just gossip and say things in a negative manner. Really pay attention to who that person is coming into you, because you really don't want that kind of a person in your life that is going to sit there. If they're talking about somebody else, they're going to be talking about you to somebody else. So if you think, wow, they're really gossiping about that person, you better sit back and think that they're not sharing about you to another person. Yeah, and a lot of the times when people gossip, they gossip the negative. They don't gossip the positive. They gossip the negative. That's low spiraling. Those are the people you don't want to round your circle. Maybe this is a deep freeze to sit there and think about who you're hanging out with. What do you want for your future? Really, what do you want for your future? Because somebody really feels a little bit lost here. Okay. Again, we've got the Queen of Wands again. Somebody is in your circle, is possibly really, really good. However, I don't know. Somebody's got an attitude. Somebody's got a real attitude in your circle. This is really, I think, going to be a real big lesson for somebody, because we got the Magician right next to her. And it's going to manifest what you really want and desire. Okay? So what you really want and desire is going to be who you are hanging out with. You want success, you can't hang around people that are not successful and like-minded. They do talk about that. It's like people who are spiritual. They hang around with spiritual people because nobody's going to understand the levels of different spiritual gifts and things like that. If I hang out with somebody secular and I start talking spiritual, they're going to start getting big eyes and rolling their eyes and like, oh my gosh, here we go. She's one of those. You got to be careful who you're hanging out with and who you're communicating with. There's somebody that is gossiping behind your back. And they're manifesting stuff that you don't want manifested. So if all of a sudden you hear something from somebody that you're like, how do they know that? Where do they know that? You need to think about who you've been hanging out with, because that's who told them. And you need to nip them in the bud and say, you know what? Gossiping is not something I allow in my life. And if that's what you choose to do, then we can no longer be friends. Again, it's about who you're following, what leader you're following. This is a future planetary energies. And that number 4 is the same as the divine's number 4. This is a time to reflect. Thank you. Time to reflect. All right. I just do not like this energy, whoever this is. I feel like it's a lot of communication here. A lot of communication here. This is a good thing though, because it's sort of like a wake-up call. It's like, yeah, you know what? I deserve better. I want to hang out with people that like me. I want to hang out with people that have my back. I want to hang out with people that support me and believe in what I'm doing. It's sort of like a wake-up call. Sometimes we all have to have those occasionally, because you do have an offering coming to you of the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is about truth. Truth is really, really good. And this is the Ace of Wands is about a communication. Or you could be traveling as well. There might be some travel in here. Maybe this travel plan, you got to be careful when you're thinking about that, because there is a travel plan here. And why is it that you're traveling, and who with it, and why? What is the purpose of this travel? I feel like there's I don't know if this is accurate. I don't know how to say it without being politically incorrect. But if a female was asked by a male to go on a trip and you were like, oh yeah, but you are not a couple, or you are not married, or whatever, you need to know the intent of this trip, because he may not be thinking the same thing you are thinking, oh, well, let's go and we'll be friends. Oh, we'll get, 2 beds in the same room. You better find out the intent of this trip, because there is something hidden behind here that is not coming true, and it's manifesting. So if you're going to be traveling with somebody, you better be on the same page as them. If not, you better ask. Okay? Because I think you're going to be surprised. And I don't mean pleasantly surprised. You're going to be uncomfortable, is put it that way. And that's why you're in the desert, to be still, to pay attention to those little red flags, pay attention to what is going on around you. Definitely, because we have the 4 of Swords. You got to pay attention. You got to really pay attention. Rest, listen, hear, see, watch, those kind of things. 6 of Wands. Yep. Definitely a time to really reflect. And the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah. Somebody is not, I don't know who this is for, or if it's the same energy, but somebody met recently or new, they are not what they seem. Be careful. We have the 7 of Pentacles. However, I'm being told to watch the sharks. Pay attention to the sharks. The sharks are circling, and they will come in and they will pounce. However, be careful. And this is where your intuition comes in. This is where your knowledge comes in. This is where your belief in the unknown and the divine to protect you comes in. And I'm not saying anybody's going to get harmed. This could be just somebody, sort of like, hey, buy this, hey, it's the best thing in the world, it's only $110, and then it's really a piece of junk, sort of like that, trying to sell you something that really isn't true. And that could be a person for a relationship. That could be a person for a job, to, hey, this is the best job ever. Do your research, do your checking. That's what we do when we're in our stillness. We do our own due diligence of looking into something, but we don't act on it. We wait for the divine to give us confirmation for it. Okay, so we want to move, and we want to do the research in whatever it is. If it's a job, we want to do a research. I don't know, how many employee turnarounds do you guys have? What is the reviews of this company? Trust me, I had done some pretty bad reviews for a company I worked for that were very truthful, and several employees had people had contacted me saying, I'm glad I read your review, because I wasn't the only one writing that kind of a review. If there were other people saying the same thing, only I went into more detail. And long story short, there was one lady who took the job and then tried to get a hold of me through one of the social medias over and over again. But because I had a legal thing going with the company, I didn't want to contact her, but she quit. And she goes, I wished I would have read your review before I took the job, because I would have never taken the job, because that was really, really right. So really do your due diligence, but doesn't mean that you act on it. You ask divine if this is something you should do, and you wait for confirmation with a yes, no, or not yet. And then he will do that. And not yet means silence. If you go for a while with no answer, he's saying, not yet. Not yet. All right? So really pay attention to that. Oh my gosh, these scam phone calls. All right, so let's see what we got. Now I'm going to do health, wealth. Or actually, I'm going to do wealth, health, and then love and relationships. Now, wealth for you guys. Some of you guys think that wealth is all about money. It's not. It's not about money at all. It could be, depending on your wealth and what you want it to be. However, wealth could be something that is not tangible. It could be love. It could be joy. It could be memories. It could be sharing time with somebody. It could be volunteering. It could be giving, whatever your wealth is, which means just success to you, that is something that you should really, really focus in on. Now, I'm a little nervous to pull this first one. Not nervous, I'm just now curious. I should say curious is the best word, because you've seen me shuffle these, right? Well, all four, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I've done 4 readings so far for this week, and all 4 wealths came up with the same card. The same card. So I'm really curious if the divine has me wanting to do this same card. But it's been a beautiful card because it's about giving. Do I have these upside down? No. Okay, so it is not. So we broke that cycle, I guess, right? Okay, so I'm going to pull health next, and then I will pull love. Love and relationships. So in the travel industry, I don't know how old you guys are, but do you guys ever remember the Love Boat? So I'm thinking of love, and divine. Because right now in the travel industry, we're gearing up because the cruises are now getting ready to go start to sail. CDC is going to be allowing them to sail here shortly, so we're all about selling cruises. Personally, there is also the Disney ship is getting a new ship, the Wish. Go on and look at that, and I'll be able to start booking the Wish. I think I'm going to book a trip for my daughter and I on the Wish. I should do a tarot trip. Wouldn't that be fun? Tarot cruise trip. That would be a lot of fun. But that is allowed to be booked. The Disney Wish will be allowed to be booked after the May 27th. So I'm really excited. Really excited. I've been doing some certifications on that ship as well, so it'll be fun. All right, so our wealth is about death, about change. So now what that means is somebody's wealth, success, it means that something is completed. So do you think that wealth and success is going to be the same through your whole life? No, it's not. So there's something in your life that maybe is coming completed, and that's joyful, and it's time to create a new thing that you want success in. So, as we get older, things change, things transform into a different way. So when I was young, I was all geared up to run a business, and get that successful and running, did that, but when that happens, then I have to create something else. And so I do that. And you might sort of look at those as accomplishments in your life. What kind of accomplishment do you want to do in your life? But there is something ending. But the good thing about that is something new is going to begin. So when you finish one, you make another. It's beautiful. This is a time for you. And this is great because we're in the new moon. We're still in the waxing gibbous. This is a time to bring that in, to manifest that in. It is time to bring that forward. So talk to yourself. Ask yourself, what do I want to do next? What would I like to do? What would I like to accomplish? What would I like, whether be it non-tangible, which means something of the second dimension, something to bring you joy and happiness, maybe memories, maybe traveling and making memories, doing something and making memories, a reunion, a wedding, those kind of things that bring you memories, joy that you can take with you the rest of your life. So think about that. That's what's supposed to be this week. Now we have health, 10 of Pentacles. Beautiful, beautiful. Keep doing what you're doing, but we have another 10. So maybe there's an old habit that you want it to end. This is a perfect time to end it, to allow some new healthy things to come in. This is a time, and this is about your nutrition. It's definitely about nutrition. If you want something to maybe stop, or maybe fast for a few days, because that will really kick your system into a new way of working, because you're purging some old toxins. Ooh, I got a hot flash. You're purging old toxins and getting things out of your body. Well, then you can replenish it with better, healthy things. That's why fasting, a lot of people fast so that they can purge some of that old stuff out, because it cleans your system out, makes things new and refreshed again. But this is something that you really, really want to think about, is that what is it that you want to finish and end? Say you want to stop eating sugar. You want to stop putting maybe sodas, or maybe you want junk food. Let me tell you though, because I'll sit here and start in a nutrition coaching thing, which I don't want to do, but garbage in, garbage out, let me tell you. And if you want to live a long life, it's time to really pay attention to what you're putting in, so that your body can fuel and work the most efficient. You got to look at your body as a wood stove. You put crap in and the smoke is going to come out and it stinks and the fire's not going to be really hot, that kind of a thing. Whereas if you put nice, fresh, dry, well, not fresh, but dried wood that is really, and it burns fast and it's fuel efficient, and it works properly, that's what you want. Okay, so pay attention to what's going on in here so that you can actually have a healthier, long life. All right. We got the Six of Wands for love and relationships. So even though that there might be a whole bunch going on with a relationship, this is a time to really think about what you want to do with this relationship. This is a good thing because now you can evaluate and say, okay, let me see where I want to be in this relationship, and then where we want to be in this relationship. Now, it doesn't mean that it's a love relationship. It could be friends. I've evaluated friend relationships through my life. When I was bodybuilding, I evaluated my friendships with some of them, and I had to let some go because it was a different mindset that I was going into, that I couldn't allow some of that past behavior to be brought into my new life. I couldn't go out drinking and dancing and stay out all night and then be expected to go back in the gym at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning and work out or anything like that. So I had to cut things off for what I wanted to grow and do. But also, too, if you're in a relationship, this is a time to really work things through in a communication, because we're talking about wands, and you've got a lot of wands here. You've got the Queen of Wands twice. You've got the Ace of Wands. I thought you had more wands here. Yeah, you've got the Six of Wands. So we have the Six of Wands twice. So we're talking about some communication issues going on here. And a lot of the communication issues in any relationship is we get into this focus of me, 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 and not focusing in on them, 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 them. So if you prefer to focus in on the other person first, getting their because you already know yourself. If you focus in on that other person's perspective first on things and how they see things and how they view things and how they hear things, then your communication kerfuffles are not going to be that big of a deal. You will never fight if you try to understand that other person's perspective before you do yours. Stop a minute and take yourself out and think of them first so that you can actually understand their reasoning. Then you come back and you can either agree to disagree, or you can actually say, hey, this is my perspective. Can we talk about it? Because it's not matching up on how I want it. Is it matching up how you want it? If not, maybe you're on the same page and you don't even know it. But if you don't communicate and get down to the bottom of it, then you're not going to understand each other. And that's probably what's happening right now. Is there a little bit of miscommunication going on, and each other's not paying attention to the other person first. I have a video on effective communication. If you go to the playlists, I think it's under Mind, Spirit, or Mind transformation. I think it's under that, but just type in effective communication and it'll pop up. But that is a really, really good way, and you'll never fight again. And that's actually the start of it. I'll probably do another communication video here in the future, but right now Divine's got me working on a new one. This morning he's like, okay, I want you to start on this book. And I'm like, I'm already working on a book. And he's like, no, I want you to start on this book. I want this one done. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So hopefully that one will be done soon. I am going to do a short video on it because I'm more of an audio, but Divine is working on the written part. So he is the one guiding on that one. And it is all about hitting your rock bottom and what to do and how to get out of that. And that is going to be a hard one for me because I have to be transparent through my rock bottom. But hopefully that will help somebody in the future. So Anyway, this is your reading, Libras. I hope this was enjoyable to you. I hope you resonated. If not, if somebody did resonate in your mind, hey, this sounds like somebody, then definitely reach out to them. Maybe this will help them. I don't know. But don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be notified when I'm on next. And I will see you on the 18th. Walk in absolute truth and love. Take care.